Hey, good evening, Facebook and Periscope. Where are we? Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and welcome to the very first Paycheck to Real Wealth panel with the Hot Talk Money Honeys. Give them some love. Those of you who watch Hot Talk or listen on Hot 105, and you can catch us on the Hot 105 Facebook page and on my page, know that we do once a month a Paycheck to Real Wealth panel, and we've been talking about coming out and doing it out in the community, and so we made a magnificent partner with the YWCA in Miami Gardens to host us. Natalie's around here somewhere. I'll introduce you to her a little bit later. Until the ladies are here, and you're here, and our audience is here, and so we're looking forward to changing the dynamic about money. We can talk about everything else. We don't really like to talk about our money, but we about to change all that because you can't get what you don't go look for. Amen. Amen. Thank you very much. So I would like to introduce you to the Hot Talk Money Honeys, for those of you who don't know them. I will start all the way at the other end with Trustee St. Fleur.
Hello everyone, my name is Trustee St. Fleur, as Jill said, and I am happy to be here tonight with you guys and to be a part of this movement when we talk about Paycheck to Real Wealth. We're talking about Paycheck to Real Wealth. So I have a question. So anyone in the guests in the building, are you a millennium? If you're a millennium, raise your hand.
Millennial is what? 25 to
30.
What is it? 18?
No, it's about 20 no.
How old
19 to 37.
It's like 19 to 35.
No, I said the cat.
Something like that.
Okay.
I'll just be over here.
Alright. So, and as a millennium,
That is Jay Phoenix, I'm sorry. That's Jay Phoenix, makeup artist extraordinaire.
So as a millennium, it's very important for us to be a part of the conversation and also to have a seat at the table, because we don't want to experience the things that happen to our parents, and we want to be able to be in front and then set up ourselves correctly so that we don't fall into the statistic that is out there right now in our community. So I can tell you guys just a little bit about how I started. So one day my mom called me hysterically. So it was like, phone rang, I would pick up. Trustee, vini konya. Mga problem, I voye mo let, mbakone salidi, but ubeze vini konya. So I was like, to translate, come home right now. IRS sent me a letter in the mail. I don't know what it says. It's a problem. Come right now. Okay, so I'll hurry up, go to my mom's, and meet up with her. So open the letter, look at the letter. In the letter, open it up. First thing I noticed, $10,000. She got a letter in the mail for $10,000 that she has to pay IRS. Okay? From that point, I had to help my mom get out of this situation. I'm in college. Yeah, I'm in college and I'm taking up accounting, but I don't know taxation. But I had to help my mom because now it's a problem. So I had to learn fast and quick financial literacy and taxation. And that's why it's important for the millennium to understand financial literacy, because it not only affects the ones before us, but it also affects us now. So that's why I'm here to empower you guys and to teach you guys on what to do so that doesn't happen to you, so that you can build that financial wealth.
All right, all right.
And if you're successful, we'll all send you Christmas presents.
Oh, should I just go right
Yeah.
Hello, everybody, and thanks for the introduction, Jill.
You are more than
And thank you to the YWCA for having me here today. A little gist about me. I bought my first house at 21, not because that's what I really wanted to do, because who does that at 21? I did it because when I went to go and look to rent a place, my question was, what happens if I don't pay my rent? And they said, well, no, you get evicted. I said, okay, well, that's not an option. So I found a way, I found a realtor, I figured out what I needed to do to actually purchase a home. And I was able to do that at the age of 21.
But so how did you always bury the lead on that story. How is it that you thought, because when, I was just so excited to get out and get a place. Rent, I didn't care. I did find a convenient way to pay my rent because I worked for the guy who rented me the place. That's a whole other story. But no, I'm really curious is how, your next thought was, well, I don't want to pay rent like that. I want to own it.
Right.
I mean, was it something that your family had taught you, or?
Well, let me tell you, I was afraid of not being able to pay. That's what scared me into it, not being able to pay the rent. So if I didn't pay the rent, then I'd be kicked out.
Right.
But if I owned a home, I could rent a room out to someone to help me pay. If something happened, I could rent the whole house back out if I wanted to and move back home, and then I'd have something in my hand as an investment. So as a younger person, I just really thought about those things in detail. And that was very important to me because I didn't want to move out of my parents' house and not have anywhere to go.
Right.
So in my mind, I was like, well, I'll get evicted. I was thinking, wait, I got to go to the party. I still got to do these things that I want to do. And if I'm spending money doing those things, you know how it is. You're going to be like, well,
having rent party.
Right. Yes. Like, wait a minute. My rent's $600, but I do want to go to the party.
Right.
So I'm going to take this $50 to go to the party tonight, then I'm going to be short on my rent, then where am I tomorrow?
Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking about. And come to find out, my mortgage was less than the rent that I was going to be paying. Back in the day in Miami Lakes when Dan Marino lived there, those of you who remember that, I wanted to live there.
In the Moors.
It had the Moors. I didn't even
That was the spot when
I didn't know what a gate was. They had a gate. I was so excited, like it's a gate. So that's where I wanted to be. So when they told me that the rent was $875, I was like, at the time, $875 is $800. And then I got to buy groceries, I got a car. I was like, woo, no. So that's what really pushed me to figure out how do I get in a home. And I just tried it. I've always been a risk taker. I think it's important that you take risks because what happens if you take the risk and you fail? You're back to where you started. At least you know that place. And that place is a good place. I was okay. I could still stay at home, but it worked out. And my mortgage was $631.
Wow. Look at that. That's hair and feet money. These are the things that are important to me.
It wasn't right. So then, so with that, and I got into real estate. So I was in real estate as a young person, and I was just, doing real estate. I mean, not even selling real estate, just thinking about it like, wow. I got up at 3:47 a.m. in the morning and said, oh my God, I bought a house. I didn't know what to do next. What am I supposed to do? And I got to go to work. And so I did work a full-time job, and believe it or not, on the side, I worked at a gas station, a Shell gas station in the middle of the night that was 3 blocks away from the house to make extra money to ensure I was going to be able to pay for those extra little things that came up. So that's where I was. That's how I got into real estate. And I'm here today to really just help you start on the process of what I call PMS. And yes, gentlemen, I did say PMS. Women, I did say PMS. And PMS for me is, what do you think it is? It's positive mindset. It's not PMS like you're thinking about it, but it's positive mindset to get you to where you want to be in all of your real estate endeavors. That's it.
Awesome! And last but certainly not least, Miss Wanda Brooks.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi, like Jill said, my name is Wanda Brooks. I am the owner of Brookstar Services that's located right here in Miami Gardens. A little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Miami, Liberty City, for those, they migrated me over to Hialeah. So people are like, how did you go to Hialeah? Well, they migrated me over there. So I wasn't a bull, you know. How many bulls? We have some bulls in there? One. That's it. That's all, and that's it. Well, I have a passion for life insurance. because I know how we need it in this community. Okay, we know about the GoFundMes, we know about all those things, and fish fries or dinners or all those things that we had to do, or what people are doing to pay for the insurance. One of the reasons why I got into insurance, the main reason, let me say that, the main reason is my father passed away about 10 years ago. And I'm a daddy's girl. So how many daddy's girls we have there, just listen, our daddies are everything. You understand? So that was a huge loss for me. And I'm like, okay. So he told me already, and my mom, where the life insurance policies was located. So I'm like, okay, well, let me go pick it up and take it to the funeral director, and I'm ready. So I'm like, okay, let's get this ball going. And he takes a look at it and he says, yeah, so this is not good. This is not enough. And I'm like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Well, what do I need? He said that this is what it was. And at that time I had no, they say life insurance, but my parents never really sat down and explained it and how this is what it's for. You just take it and give it to the guy. So now, here I am trying to figure out, how am I going to do this funeral, right? Now it's my dad now. I want, it needs to be perfect.
You want the gold casket.
Exactly, right. So it was this. So now what do I need to do? I had to go into my 401k. I had to go into my savings. I depleted my savings, because at that point I didn't think about anything other than laying my father down the proper way. Okay, of how he said, and how he wanted to, or how I felt. Let me say that, how I felt he needed to be laid to rest. Okay, yes. So now, after this, now you can't grieve, because I'm too busy trying to figure out how I'm gonna get this money. Okay, you can't be crying, talking about what. The people like, okay, when you gonna give me this money? Okay, well, suck it up, Wanda, and get it together. Okay, so that's what I did. After the funeral was done and everything, that's when I realized I have not grieved my dad, and it hit me hard. And not only that, I just took a substantial amount of money out of my 401k. Now, what if you don't have that? I was fortunate enough to have it at the time, but what if you don't? So then what? You understand? So it is my passion to make sure that my community has life insurance. That's a passion of mine, and because I don't think anybody in the sound of my voice should ever go through what I went through. So that's what it is.
And so much of it, you really touched on, so did I. You really touched on at the beginning when you were saying that, people, the life insurance policy is in the drawer and you just go take it to the man.
Right.
And I remember that Uncle Hank used to come to the house and bring my grandmother an envelope every Thursday.
Right.
And she would always say, that's the insurance man.
Right.
And I say, amen. Let's touch and agree. And so I figured that's how that went. No idea. Right. That it's a whole, there's a whole other way they do that.
Right.
And so to your point, yes, that happens. We don't question it. It's just okay. Well,
right.
And it'll all work. Right. Uncle Hank will help me.
Back when Uncle Hank, and here's a quick tidbit. Back when Uncle Hank was coming around to pick up the insurance,
right.
We weren't able, as a community, we were not able to have insurance until the late 40s, early 50s. Wow. And even then, they restricted us on the amount that we can have. Okay? So they took our grandparents and our great-grandparents, they took that seriously. They're allowing us to have it, we're getting it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's a good thing to know.
And so and putting this panel together, so these are the three pillars of that, so you want to have 4 legs, but you can make it happen on 3. And these are the 3 that you need. And so I always leave a 4th chair, because there is always something else, right? And so tonight, our 4th chair is Miss Michelle Adderley. Gotcha. She's like, what? I tell them all the time, you know, I learned the business. Come on. I will thank James T. and Jerry Rushing for the rest of my life, because I learned like everything I know about the business by them throwing me in the pool and say, okay, swim. You get back to the shore, you in. And so everybody that kind of comes, you know, that's a part of what I'm doing has been thrown in the pool. And they still here, they made it. So, but Michelle and I go way back. We go back to college together. And Michelle, y'all know Funk Master Ali?
Yes.
That's his sister. So we all went to Florida Memorial together, and so it's a long time coming. But Michelle has always been a very successful entrepreneur. She is, I don't care what it is, the commonality is that she had a need to meet and she paid her bills legally. And did quite well and was able to move from different types of business quickly because she had the skill. Once you learn it, how to sell and how to run a business, you can run anything. You can sell dresses, you can sell fish, you can sell anything. And Michelle is you know, one of my favorite people when it comes to that, being an entrepreneur. So, hey girl, hey. So I'll give you the mic and you can share your story.
Hi, my name is Michelle Adderley, and I am a serial entrepreneur. I love the challenge of being in business. I love helping people, and right now my forte is money. So anything as it relates to money, I just dive into it, and I try to learn as much as I possibly can about it. So how I got into the money business is because I had it, and then I did not have it. You know, I woke up one day and I did not have what I had before. And so I was forced into trying to figure out how to survive in a area where everyone still thinks that you have it and you know that you don't, okay? And you're hiding in a high-rise downtown Miami trying to figure out how you can save yourself along with your friends because you guys made a really, really bad decision as far as investment was concerned. So I started with credit, learning how to fix my own credit. And credit is always the catalyst of everything that you have. Everything that we've talked about on this panel here, it really starts with you having your credit together. That is the foundation. Because if you don't have credit, you don't understand, you can't purchase a house. You basically need to understand that the wealth is actually built if you're interested in building wealth, your wealth is actually built in insurance, okay? And then once you get all of that together, you have to go down and you have to see Tressie and you have to understand how to maintain where the IRS is not knocking on your door that you are paying your taxes. Okay, so I think it's a great thing. Thank you very much, Jill, for inviting me up here as the fourth chair. I did not know that. I was coming just to support.
See?
And but all of these components work together, guys. If you have it all together, it's just amazing that I'm sitting here thinking about it. All four of these components, if you work it together properly, you will be able to create wealth and have generational wealth. And that's what my passion is to make sure that we have generational wealth, how to build it, because there are things that are out there that we're not taught, okay? And I'm that person because I was one of two only black union printers in the state of Florida. I have a printing company for the last 20 years. So I was that person that would go into the rooms that didn't look like us, and when they say, okay, you know, are invited to the table, I took my seat at the table. And I let them know that I was here to understand why there aren't more people who look like me sitting at this table. Okay, so from there, I said, listen, I'm gonna knock the door down. I'm not gonna give you an opportunity to open the door for me. I'm gonna knock the door down. So guys, I'm here to, any questions that you may have, I'm here to assist and work with the young ladies here to make sure that we are here to create generational wealth. Thank you.
All right, look here. Walk in the door, wave in the fofo. I swear. See, y'all know the you know it. And I want to acknowledge our kids from Norland and What high schools are you guys from?
Northern.
All from Norland. No. Where you guys from? Where y'all from? American? Miami Lakes. Awesome. What grades?
10. Seniors.
Ooh! We got 25th graders too. Okay.
2021.
But right. We know y'all y'all about to exhale. Like, woo, Jesus, yes, God. Y'all figure out the way to go. But I'm so glad that you're here because, you know, I mean, that you right here, if we do this right, you will have stories to tell. And so I'm so glad you're here to be able to know how important that is. One of my interns, I just went off to work for Martha Stewart Living. She, I met her at a summer program, Urgent. I teach there in the summer, and she wanted to go into media, and so I brought her to Cox and got her a job, you know, the shit job, for lack of a better word. She's that job where you have to do every station, you got to be at every event, and she did it. And she made sure that her reel was diverse. You know, she didn't just do Hot 105 and EDR. She did Easy 93.1 and Hits 97.3. So that when, you know, Meredith Publishing saw her work, they saw that she was well-rounded. And so she did a year and a half with us, and now she's in New York. Got on the plane at 25. Wow. Thank you. Her first major job in New York City. And so, you know, I always told her, I do this because my hope is that you go farther and faster. And, you know, I left home to come to college. But, yeah, my first, like, gig, I was 30. Yeah. And a lot of the lessons, my mom always said, you'll either get the money or get the lessons. And, right? And being a writer, you know, and an artist and the whole thing, I was like, well, I'll get the lessons and the money will come. Yeah. No idea how long that would take. But now, you know, but you get to a plateau where you understand that I'm so glad I got the lessons, right? Because somebody getting over you at 50 is a whole nother thing. Somebody getting over you when you're 21. You know what I'm saying? You can recover from that real good. 50 is hard to recover from. It's like I should have seen that coming. I should have played that game already. So I'm so glad that you all here, and I hope you suck it all in, because you be laying in your bed one night when you are 22 years old, figure, how am I get out of this? And something that somebody has said somewhere will pop into your head. So thank you for coming and being willing to get your real wealth early, girls. So I want to introduce the young lady who made all of this happen. Yes, babe.
Real quick, these 4 young ladies who's sitting here,
They're from Sunshine's Heart Mentoring Program based here in Miami Gardens.
Yes, we're here every Wednesday and Thursday night.
Are we in y'all?
Yeah, y'all in our space. So
we share it. Yay! Oh, well, thank you for sharing. Oh, well, I'm so glad that you guys are here. So, Natalie Robinson Bruner, come on up. Give us some love. Is making this whole thing happen. I met Natalie, and I shared with her the other day that I did not know the YWCA's, you know, mission statement was ending racism and empowering women. And so, you know, we met, and I'm just really proud to be a part of this journey with the YWCA, and thank you for having us.
No problem. Oh, okay. Well, well, I just want to say welcome and thank you to everyone for coming out and being with us, and thank you, Jill, for working with me and dreaming with me to help bring this to our community. Like she said, the YWCA, our mission is to eliminate racism and empower women, and that really starts with our finances, are sort of the basis of a lot of things. Making sure that you have enough to go to school, to pay your health care bill, to have the opportunity and the options available and not to be limited. And so I hope that everyone gets something out of this tonight. I know I will, because I was taking notes last time, so I am definitely going to be doing some of the things they advise. So I suggest everyone just pay close attention. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, so with that said, what time, where are we on the clock? 5 after 7. Okay, so let's take like a 5-minute break. The wine is open. So if you'd like to come next door, grab you a glass of wine, and then we're going to distribute the worksheet, and then we'll get started. Because we got about, okay. Can a little music in the interim. This is one of my favorite tracks right now.
I've never really viewed myself as particularly
BJ the Chicago Kid.
Where I excel.
Produced by Rico Love.
Is ridiculous.
What?
Sickening work ethic. You know, while the other guy's sleeping, I'm working. While the other guy's eating, I'm working. I have a great time with my life. And I want to share.
Most people wake up if you ever turn. City dances up the dream. Keeps back when you're just like you were trying to live life. And in the body I'm
back over here. situation more complex. Then that's the looking for complexity. It's gotta be something complex to understand. It can't be that easy. The separation of talent and skill is one of the greatest misunderstood concepts for people who are trying to excel at dreams and want to do things. Talent is naturally. Skill is only developed by hours and hours and hours of being on your craft. I think that there's a certain delusional quality that all successful people have to have. You have to believe that something's different than what has happened for the last 50 million years of history. You have to believe that something different can happen. Being realistic is the most commonly traveled road to mediocrity. Why would you be realistic? What's the point of being realistic? Just I'm gonna do it. It's done. It's already done. The second I decide it's done, it's already done. We just gotta wait for y'all to see. Peace, peace. Everything in music creation, in complete harmony or creation becomes art. Everything we've ever invented stems from the human imagination. Everything we've ever invented or created that moved in error is recognized as work of genius. Science and the empirical man, philosophy and the thinker, religion and the shaman, art and the sick who can metabolize. Everything with a trace of decay is human error. Forgivable human error emerges from the radiance of the gift which becomes shadow, necessary evil, so to speak. Or we'd have figured it out by now. Striving for perfection is the result of genius. Find peace, share your genius. See, I can't see my own face without a reflection. Whether it be your reaction to my expression, a mirror, or whether I mean the outside to know the inside, which is where I reside. Through this understanding, I know that all things are one. According to science, everything is a wave of energy. A sound wave reaches my ear and my mind makes something of it. My eyes are receptors for another type of energy, which my mind then depicts as images. Same rules for smell and touch. Time and space are tools which help me convert these waves into information. Now, when people pull attention to something other than time and space disappears. I am simply moving. Yesterday, tomorrow, here, there. It is always now. All is energy. Technically, I'm only a vessel channeling both sides. My mind chooses to tune into these frequencies, which I either contemplate or share with the outside. I believe I'm functioning on the same foundation. Energy, which is everything. Everything is one ocean of energy. Everything is within you. Everything is you. The identity of me is but a series of memories in which mind decides to narrate in order to create that feeling. Remember, it is always now. The first law of thermodynamics states that energy is conserved. In other words, energy can be created or destroyed. Energy only transforms. We are thus forever, and death is but a blink. So I ask, why hurt? Why kill? Why hate? Why fear? Why war? Why the feelings of uneasiness if all is but a single form of energy entertaining itself? Can the state of the world change? Can the state of the world change? If energy only seems to transform, then why not? It seems as if darkness has always reigned over. We live on a planet amongst a system in a dark space. A planet amongst other planets rotating around the sun in the same fashion as electrons do around the nucleus, which form the cells which form us. Ah, yes, all is one. And my friends, it is beautiful. Let us unify our heart. Now healing power and I thank you. Peace forever.
This is good. No hair, not cool. I love that. It's so simple.
deliverance, see the healers. Looking for a balance, keep forever young. More like your mind that you from the sun. Thanks for one. Rolling the blunt on a copy of native sign. Getting conscious for speaking the native tongues. I'm a colorist, my penalty mentally on the run. I'm synthesizing my energy from the sun. I release some blockages, I ain't stopping until they go. Feeling weighted down like a pockets full of stone. Till I realize I can change what's going on. Let's go. Every single place I go, right at home. Right at home. Waiting for the day to come. Looking for power to keep forever young. My energy from the sun. Rolling the blunt on a copy of native sun. Getting hard to speak in the native tongues.
Oh, I need this my thing.
No, you want one of these for real?
It's I'm gonna take this home. No, I want one of those. I don't need one of those.
You don't need
I got a budget XL. Look, we bought little tiny plates so people can get a lot of food.
Oh no, we that's covered. Yeah, that's the stash. We had to make sure that Stefan, don't let me forget it. I'm not gonna forget it. Who am I kidding? Is that Mike hot?
Can you see what time it is? Can you tell the time?
I'm trying to remember what I
Look how
said.
big the watch is. Right?
All right, guys. You want? Yes, I do have one. All right. Everybody good? Ready? Do I have a mic? Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
We didn't bring this nice back.
Okay, yes, everybody with a glass. Cheers to financial independence. I just wanted to see if my script was in my purse. We made notes Tuesday. Michelle. Here a little bit. Okay, so first things first is the name of this one. So the very first show that we got serious about, okay, how does this really happen? I have a goal of buying a house. I'll be a first-time home buyer in my 50s, early 50s. And so, I was just pacing the floor after, my air conditioner started leaking and the owner took like a week to come and fix it and all of that. And I was like, no ma'am, not anymore. And so I had to just really kind of get serious about how is this going to happen. I was just sharing with the girls that I ran from my student loans for so many years and my credit was so bad that that's why I don't have a home. Because I couldn't buy a home because I didn't have credit, didn't have this. Okay, well, I'm a rent. First, last security, I'm in. And I just stay here until I get ready to, And so, and it's a pattern. It just keeps going unless you stop it. That's why I'm so glad that they are cognizant of doing this early. So, what are the keys to wealth? I was like, okay, so all of this, it was messed up. All of it still is actually, but we working it out because it is piece by piece. And so because of the experience I was having with my mom and how if I had to come out of pocket, I would deplete everything I had earned and I'd be stuck again. And I was like, no, let's just do that first because God forbid anything happen. It's just me and her. So if anything happened to me, our ability to have income is zero. So I started with insurance. I got a policy that I could pay monthly on an automatic debit, and I'll grow as my money grows. At the same time, we were going through the whole Medicaid process and all of that, and I was just talking. I'm sorry. Tell me your name again. Valerie. Valerie works in the hospital system. Is very familiar with elder care, and we just met. Smile at the baby. And about the experience that I'm going through, she's like, she sees it every day, and it's usually us because we just don't think about it. She and I were talking about how many of y'all have long-term care? Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's good. John Hancock long-term care. How many of you all even thought to get long-term care?
How many of y'all know what long-term care is?
Right. Who just has no clue what long-term care is? Yeah. Okay. Well, I will raise my hand. I had no idea until this experience. I thought once you had a life insurance policy, you had universal care or whatever, you were straight. No. No, none of it. As she just shared with me, long-term care, to keep it simple, is custodial care. So like the situation my mother is in, that $25,000 would not be hanging over here if I had that long-term care custodial policy that probably would have been about $20 a month at the time, when first time she got sick. That's why we're here. So, and from this, so that's where I am right now, right? I've done that. And now, and the goal is to get to buy the house. Tressie here, I actually met because I hadn't done taxes in 8 years. Okay, the IRS. I just thought about this live stream idea. Maybe we just need to record it. Oh, that's a little too much transparency. Okay. So yeah. So I went to Tressie, and actually I met her through somebody. What was he doing? He was doing like some whole.
He was doing a My Econ type.
Anybody heard of My Econ?
Yes.
Right. Okay. It's like this whole game you got to do and sell all this stuff. Yeah. And so, but Tressie, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. But Tressie, he brought her in, but she was the most dynamic. She really explained, how you will ruin your life and you will never be able to be stable and sleep well at night if you do not get the taxes together, because they will take them from you, period. And you end up paying more. So anyway, so she stopped the bleeding. Let's just say that. And so that's where, each piece is a step. And so each event. So this is really, I'll tell you now, it is a piece by piece. One thing at a time. We talked a lot about not getting overloaded with a lot of terms and all of that stuff because you got enough going on in your life already. So just one piece at a time. You can once a month you can do one thing that's gonna move the needle. That's what we're doing. So you won't get it in 3 hours because you can't. But it will always be free. I will always have food and wine. So, so Dana, if you want to, so this is where we started. They took, it's like, oh well, keep a budget. You have all? Does everybody have one? Okay. So yeah. So you should keep a budget. This, that, and the other. And I was like, yeah, I'm so busy. Blah blah blah. So then they said, okay, you know what I need you to do? Get a bowl. and put every receipt from this month in a bowl. Just every single solitary receipt. I don't care what it is. If it was gas, gum, Girl Scout cookies. Whatever you spent some money on, put that receipt in a bowl. That's it. And before the next meeting, take them all out and itemize what you spent on each thing. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Right? And I will tell you, my experience was I had no idea how much I was spending on foolishness. Right? You would have never told me that I was spending $375 a month going out to eat.
Easy.
Then I was spending another like $300 on groceries. Then oh my God, I spent parking and Uber. I spent almost $500 in a month. But because my life is busy, right? I'm moving. Praise God. A lot of things, are going on, and I gotta be due. We didn't even talk about my hair. That's why I don't weave no more. Hello, somebody. No, ma'am.
Okay. From school to
right.
Now, I'm like, I just don't want to have
no. Okay, you're correct.
It's $20 haircut.
Thank you.
That 280 I'm paying every 2 weeks from now. Oh no.
Right, because you gotta pay $280 to get it.
Yeah, that's a week.
Then you gotta Then you gotta maintain it.
Right. You gotta wash it every.
Okay, and the hair, it's Brazilian wavy, whatever. No, it's nappy and knotted up right now. That's what it is. And I have to be on stage at the James L. Knight Center. And I look like Dracula. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like for real, because they don't pay for that stuff. They don't care, and you cannot show up wrong.
Right. And you ask me why you cut your hair, girl. I can't afford it.
Can't afford it. Just tell them, right. As soon as they ask you, and raps saved my life. Hello.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. This one can wrap a head in seconds. Whole nother, the earrings and glasses, we good to go. Yeah. So all of those, when you start to really get serious about it, you know what I'm saying? All of that. I got a thing. I stopped most of them anyway, but I got a thing for this chocolate bar at Aldi. How many of y'all shop at Aldi? Thank you. Okay. So they got this thing, it's like $2, and you get like 5 little bars in there. Each one is 100 calories, so that's how I'm dieting. It's like, it's only 100 calories. I only ate 3. No. So when it's all those little things, that alone, I had spent like $27 on.
Wow.
Over the course of the month. Yeah. Because, and then you want, have you tried it? I'll get you one. All of that little stuff, I did not realize how much money I really am transferring.
Yes.
Angelique's gonna get with you on that one. Outside of helping me do what I'm supposed to do.
Wow.
So that's what, so when you start whenever you want. You want to wait till after Christmas, that's on you. But you fooling yourself. If you do. That's why we were going to do this earlier, but I thought the holiday season is great. Because I do the same thing. I spent $250 on Thanksgiving for 7 people who left most of their food there. And when I was going in Publix, right, they had the thing on the back and it was $50 Thanksgiving for 8 people. Yes. Right? Not common sense. Just But no, I had to brine my turkey. Right? I could just have no dry turkey from Publix. I had to let it sit, I had to brine it, I had to rub it down. Okay. But it's all those little things that I'm like, I told them 2020 is a year of clarity. Yeah. It's, it is 2020. Come on now. We gotta get it together there. That's how it happened. Right. That Michelle. Right. Michelle said my motto for 2020 is no more payment arrangements. No more. So no more. I had to make one more FP&L. But I got FP&L together and I'm about to give. How many of you all have a cable bill higher than $100? What, you don't watch cable? You got Roku? I don't know.
Smart TV, YouTube TV. We have internet. Smart TV, internet.
Fire stick.
Did you?
Yeah, only thing I got from the internet. Yeah.
That's it.
Right, because see, I got a smart TV and Xfinity. Right, do it to my damn it. You just do it too damn much. Thank you, man.
You overqualified.
Thank you.
But make sure
Right.
before you guys cancel, make sure, because it's always
The cancellation policy.
Make sure you read the cancellation
Yep.
policy, because it may be better for you to downgrade.
Yep, that's what I
Keep a little bit, that pay them a little instead of breaking that, because it will break your contract. Be careful when you go cold turkey.
Right. Well, no, I called and I had the conversation. And luckily, I got, and he said, girl, no, just downgrade, just keep bringing it down.
Right.
And he, helped me find him.
Right.
But just like she said, Roku and internet, that's really all I need. I watch 3 channels. That's it. Really watch anyway. Right, so it's, those little things. Okay, so now, you're gonna, time check. Perfect. Okay, so now the ladies have prepared, there are like 3 pieces that they want you to take away. And the main thing, everybody got it. You're gonna get a bowl, and put every receipt, I don't care what you spend on I don't care what it is. Put that receipt in a bowl. And at the end of the month, before, Dana, did you get everybody's info?
Yes.
No, did you get everybody info?
Info.
Get there, like a sign-in sheet.
Email, sign-in sheet.
Yeah.
So we can send them a little email reminder
I'm curious how much
about your
you spend
receipts.
on your pets.
Oh, shoot. Okay, you my sister. Woo! How much, she said, how much do I pay for my pets?
Yeah.
Well, y'all got children. But well, and I have older pets. So they're 10 and 11. And they, But I will tell you, I did not, one of them needs to have another, ultrasound and maybe surgery, and it was $2,700. I was like, we're going to pray for Princess. Because she's 11. Okay? I'm going to take her home and cook for her. That's going to be about it.
And they eat good.
They did, right. I make them, Listen, buying chicken breast in the value pack is cheaper than dog food.
Yeah.
It is. When they prescribe the dog food, it's $3 a can. Which is, for me, was like $23. I went to Doris Market. I ain't even, go to Bravo or nothing. But the Doris Market and got the chicken, and she ate off of that for almost 3 weeks. Was $12. I'm learning. Okay. So, all right. So now I'm gonna go down the list. The ladies are going to quickly give you their 3 tips that they want you to take away from tonight, and then we'll wrap. Okay. Good.
Okay.
Tracy Saints.
All right, you guys. So since taxes, you can't avoid taxes, because taxes is like death, right? Those are 2 things you can't avoid in life, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? It's that intense, because IRS will come after you. You understand? If you have anything that's earned income, they know. So you have to take it as serious as that. So my first tip for you guys is take control of your economy by telling IRS what your tax rate is. You have to tell IRS what your tax rate is. You see how when you have your paycheck, you're like, well, IRS is just taking out this amount of money, it's so much money, right? But did you know that you can tell IRS how much to take out of your paychecks? So that's, if you a W-2 earner, how much people know how can you tell IRS to take out your paycheck? Do you know how to do that? Yes, some people know, some people don't. How do you do that?
You share them with us.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. So tell them, here, let me take our mic. Where's the other mic? Okay, so right. No, that's what I'm saying. This is cooperative economics.
Right.
Because everybody got a little something off. Okay, so you're a tax preparer.
Right.
Girl,
So tell them how can an individual, we'll say an individual, tell
Right.
IRS how much to take out of their paychecks.
Come on, ma'am.
She like, you are. Okay, you can sit down.
This is your time, Tasha Perry. Come on.
You give us your handle as well.
Okay. Your Instagram?
Well, I does it, but I don't do it like I used to do. I've been doing it for like 10 years. I was a hairstylist and I did types of hair and stuff like that.
Awesome. See,
I
get
can't
that
do
money.
that.
That's 7.
But most time I think you can talk to your employer, and then they will take out certain things, and then you can talk to the IRS about how much you want to take out every month. So by the end of the year, you won't have to owe them. Really.
That amount of money.
But, yeah.
Right.
But yeah, you do have to. I'm the person that most people come to after they don't got messed up. I'm the fixed person.
Okay.
You're
the
all the
resolution.
money. Because I'm the type of person, I'm not going to give you all this money, I'm going to give it to you how you're supposed to get it.
Right.
But they want to get $10,000 in the next year, they're going to have to owe. You know, because it might seem good now, but you're going to owe them. They're going to know that you didn't make that money.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, she's. Go ahead.
At our job, we actually have it where we can log into our page and we have like a we actually have a system. Well, we can go in manually and put in what we want the IRS to take out of our taxes. So
there you go.
yeah, our job allow us to go in through the system and just make the adjustment.
Make the adjustment. Correct. So that's exactly why. Because you know that your refund is your money already. So when you let IRS take out an amount that they want to take out, then what happens is IRS is not giving you any interest on that money. So they're just saying, okay, you're just going to let us take out whatever, we're going to take it out, and then we'll just send you a check next year, April the 15th, by April the 15th, with no interest. So that's your money right there. So if you're getting a refund for about $5,000 every single year, that money you could have had that money already that year to do something with, to save that money and put it down and buy a house, or to pay your life insurance premium. You understand? So that's one of the things when it comes to saving money and keeping money in your economy, not putting it into IRS economy, but so that you can be able to build wealth for your family. Okay? So that's one of the tips. The second one is to protect your income. You have to protect your income from IRS. And the way you protect your income from IRS is to put your income into tax savings accounts. So there's different tax savings accounts that applies to everyone. So if you're thinking, oh, these accounts don't apply to me, that's for them rich folks or something. No, it applies to everyone. Because a tax savings account, you can actually put $20 into a tax savings account, because there's different ones. There's tax savings account for your medicals, there's tax savings account just to save money, so for retirement. So there's different type of tax savings account that you pay 0 taxes on that income. So you have to protect your income from IRS. Just like IRS protect themselves, it's the same way for you too. Okay, so it's the same way. So that's another tip. Yes.
I'm sorry, I just want to have a mic right now. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So if I set up a tax saving income for custodial care, right?
Right.
Is it like a trust? Like I put the money in and you just can't take it. You can't take it out until you need it for that purpose.
Yes.
Okay.
So when you have money set aside for custodial care,
right.
So that once it happens, because it doesn't matter when the custodial care comes about in life,
right.
Then you will have access to take that money out.
And not until.
Okay. Right.
I was just want to make it right. It's not like you can put it over there and be like, Lord, I don't want to buy this car and take it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So every tax saving account has its purpose.
Right.
But the thing you have to understand about tax savings account is that they save you money on paying taxes. So it lowers your tax bill every single time. So you could make for $40,000 a year or whichever, and you're like, okay, I want to take $10,000 and put it in these different accounts, right? So that's lowering your taxable income by $10,000. And it's still your money. So
and you still got the money.
You still got the money. So when these situations happen, which they do, I gotta go on this one, and there's no taxes on there when you use it for those situations. So you don't
get taxed when you take it out, like an IRS, something like that.
Yes. Like your flex spending account, your health savings account. So those are one of those tax savings accounts. And you actually, people be amazed. If the maximum, whatever the maximum is, the flex can be about what, $2,700 that year for the employer. And then for the health savings account, it can go up to like $5,000. And that lowers your taxable income. So those are one of the ways you can actually lower that tax bill every single year to the point where you don't even have to pay IRS.
Right.
You keep all your money in your pocket.
That's how they do it.
That's how they do it.
That's how that happens.
That's how Warren Buffett. Listen, Warren Buffett has a tax. I love talking about Warren Buffett because he puts his business out there. He has a tax rate of 16%.
How?
16%, and the average American can pay about 20 plus.
Yeah.
How we're not in the millions, right? But he's in the billions of dollars, and he only pays 16% tax savings.
That's how the rich stay rich, right?
Tax. Okay.
Okay. Is that 3?
Oh, I got one more. Oh.
That's her favorite one.
That was my favorite
Like, I need y'all to understand.
Okay, and the last one is, hold on. Get my note here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, for someone that doesn't make a lot of money a year, just say they're in their 30,000, 40,000.
Right.
Does it make sense for them to bring less home by putting money into other areas? Like you said, put money here, put money there. So taxes, if I put money here and I put money there, and then when I get my paycheck, I'm looking at like,
Right.
you know, you thinking of the future, but now in the moment, you like, what am I gonna live off? You know,
Right.
How do you balance that out when when in your mind you like, I know it's gonna work. I know it's gotta work. I know if I do it this way, I can.
Right.
But
Right.
would I be able to still have survive, knowing that I'm trying? I think it's the right thing to do.
Right.
It sounds like the right thing to do, but what do I do if my check I'm coming home with like $600-700 or
So
$500?
the trick is to start where you can be able to afford to save.
Right. Okay.
So if it's just $5, then it's $5, and then from there you build. You never start with, okay, well, $100, and you know you can't sustain the 100. You know, it's kind of like if you go Wanda, you buy life insurance, right? And you only can pay $20 a month. So you tell Wanda, I only can afford $20. What you got for me for $20? You understand?
Yes.
And it's the same way it works for all of these tax savings accounts. Because all of them have a minimum amount that you can put in there. And that little amount will save you those tax savings regardless. So it will lower your taxable income, and it will put money where? Back in your pocket.
Right.
Even as small as it can be.
Because,
Right.
You know, a lot of poor, well, not poor,
Low income.
low income.
Right.
Correct way to say it. They look forward to their taxes every year. And this
Right.
type of knowledge that you're giving me, this type of knowledge that you're giving at this moment, it is good information. But someone who looks forward to the year and don't have this knowledge, that says, oh, I know they're taking out my taxes when I'm gonna get this huge amount back.
Right.
January or February, March when it comes. So you know that's what they're
looking at.
Right.
It's because of the literacy part, the education part. Because if you low income and you make $30,000 and your tax refund is $5,000, that's that $5 that came from that 30 anyways. So you didn't go home with 30. You went home with 25,000. So instead of waiting a year and 4 months to get that money back, and have that money, take that money now, and then put those in those savings accounts, so that certain savings account will give you interest, right? So let's say it's a 5% interest. So you have 5% interest on that $5,000 every paycheck. You understand? So that's, you'll make more money. Instead of waiting for IRS to send you a check that was yours anyway, and there's no interest.
Your money. Because you invested in your own money.
In your own money.
And then you kind of get out of that mindset of, I'm gonna wait, and then, because all you do is, I'm gonna get it, spend it.
Yeah,
Or I'm gonna go on a trip, I'm gonna do this, that, and the other. But it's like, no, you know, I'm gonna, as opposed to switching it to, you know, when I hit this, in my safe. That's where I am now. When I hit this, then I know I have the space to go on this trip.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? As opposed to when I get that income, because then I come back and I'm broke still, and I waited all year for that money. Now I ain't got, yeah. But like you said, that's true. It's like $5. Really, when I say that, I'm talking like $5, $10 here. Like, I have a good friend. I ain't gonna say her name, but the money that I'm saving, she go and spend it at the casino. She still live in her mama's house. And your last tip?
And have a tax plan. A tax plan is very important. So that's where you will put your tax plan against your budget to see, okay, these are the tax savings that are there, because we all have them. There's tax, no matter if you're low income, mid-income, or high income. Everyone has some particular tax saving that applies to them. And you will only know that if you have a tax plan. That tax plan will have every tax code that applies to you and the savings that you get from each and every one of them. Okay? So that's the third thing that's extremely important. It's good to have a tax plan, to have one, because you can have one and you follow it until the tax laws change. So just like we had the tax laws that changed in 2017 into 18, so then you would revise it and then follow it. Oh, so tax plan is done by a tax accountant, so it has to be a professional that sit with you and do it. So
like me.
Like me. Okay.
But you know what? That was gonna ask you that question. I ain't paying them girls. You know what I'm saying? But I'm supporting them because they supported me. But honestly, before you pass my going, I wanted you to share, like, how much does, like, if somebody wants to come down and sit with you and be like, okay, this is how much money I have.
Right.
How can I, and activate it the way you were talking about? How much is that going to cost to come sit with you?
The tax plan?
Yes. To come to you, make an appointment, come to you and say.
My consultation is $100. That's the consultation fee. Yeah.
Boom.
Per hour or
no, that's for the consultation.
Just $100.
Yes.
I could do that.
Yeah.
We want the jail Tracy.
Thank you. That's what you gonna call it. You gonna call it. Call it the jail Tracy. Okay, no, honestly, no. On the real. Would you do it for 75?
I'll do it for 75.
Bro, if y'all do it for 75?
Tracy, yes.
Done. Done.
Jill Tracy is $75.
$75. All right, Angelique.
How to get in contact with you?
Oh, my contact.
Right, that
people.
part.
Okay, so I will have a few flyers in the back.
Yeah.
But and you can get the flyer and all my information will be on there. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, babe. Miss Angelique.
Well, all right. I need a tax plan.
Yes, that's first things first.
I'm getting mine free because I know. No, I'll pay. Well, my tips, I have 3 tips. And the first tip, well, I would say I want to start changing the language on how we speak. We always talk about spending money, correct? How much did you spend today? How much did you spend today? I no longer want to say spend money. I want to say transfer money. And the reason why I want to say transfer money is because I had someone who was buying a home and she said, oh my goodness, I'm going to spend $40,000 on her new home. So what she was doing, she had to have a down payment, and her closing costs came up to like $40,000, right? So she was taking this money out the bank to put it in her new home. And she felt like she was what? Spending this money. But let's think about this a little differently, right? Here we go. She wasn't spending her money. She was doing what? Transferring her money. Why? She was transferring her money because she was taking her money out the bank that was using her money to make more money and giving her really nothing on her money. Correct?
Right.
So now what she did, she came and found me, her realtor, and she found and she bought a home. So now what she did was, I said, no. You've taken the money from the people who are holding it for you because you can't put it under your mattress due to the taxation, the IRS people over here who know about that. So you put it in there because you can't just keep it at home. Am I correct?
Right.
So she bought a home. So she transferred it to where? Where she is, where she lives. And guess where? It's with her now. Am I correct?
Right. Yeah.
Now, she transferred it over there. So think about this now. 90% of the time, real estate is going to go what? Right? So even if she made 6 to 10% on that $40,000, would she have made that in that other building over there?
Nope.
So she did what?
Transfer.
So she made a good. So here is my thing. So I made this analogy the other day and I said to someone, okay, you went and took your credit card, which is really your bank, correct? And you went to Neiman Marcus and you bought yourself some Manolo Blahnik shoes, or the red bottom shoes or whatever they are, correct? So you transferred $2,700 to Neiman Marcus, right? That's what you did, right? That you transferred.
I didn't know it cost that much.
So you transferred that money to Neiman Marcus. What did you get from Neiman Marcus? You got some shoes, right? That's what you got. So now how are those shoes going to make your life better? No, somebody tell me what $2,700 shoes.
They make your feet hurt. She said they're gonna make your feet hurt.
Okay. So here is my thing. So my tip to you is this. I want you to start thinking when you drive through that drive-through at McDonald's, Burger King, Snappers, wherever you go. When you go to Target, you go to Macy's, I don't care where you go. I want Starbucks. I want you to think in your mind, I am transferring my money to these people.
My kids made me transfer a lot of money. Doing too much transfer.
Right. So, but this is how.
I need them to retransfer.
Okay. So we want to get to the point now. I want to be clear on this because I don't want you to think you can't buy things for yourself. But I want you to understand that you need to transfer to things that are going to give back to you first. Then you can go and transfer to other places. So we're going to start using that language, transferring. When you really think about that, I transferred my money to Neiman Marcus and left out of there with a pair of shoes I'm probably going to wear only 2 times because we can't see you in the same Manolo Blahniks every time. That's the problem. That's the reality. So, transferring is the first thing that I really want you guys to start thinking about and using that word transfer. The second thing is, where do you start to fix it? Start tracking how you're transferring that money. I don't care if you want to write it down on an Excel sheet. I don't care if you want to put it in your phone, in your notes. At the end of the month, you need to look at and use the word transfer every time you write it down. So you can see that you have transferred your money to all these people who have given you what? Nothing back. Now, Neiman Marcus, and I'm going to tell you this quick little thing. Worked at Saks Fifth Avenue. I worked in the designer department. I put a pair of cashmere sweaters out. We listed them for $65. Nobody bought them for $65. Now one person bought it. You know why? Too cheap. It's in Saks Fifth Avenue. Took them off the floor. Put them back out there for guess what? $265. I sold those twin sweater cashmeres 8 times. Here's the thing. How much did Saks Fifth Avenue pay for those sweaters? $17, including shipping. I'm telling you that. I saw it, I put it out on the floor myself, it was my department. So think about what you're buying, when you're buying it. So that's all I'm saying. So what we're going to do, we're going to what? Transfer. And we're going to grow to the level where we transfer, we start talking about we're transferring our money to what? Titles. We're transferring our money to deeds. Those are things that are assets. So transfer is the word we're going to use. So we're going to learn the word transfer, we're going to write it down, and we're going to track. And then the third thing is that I don't want you to be afraid of your credit score. It's a credit score. It's okay if it's 420 right now. It's okay if it's a 325. It's okay if you don't even have a credit score right now. That is something that can be worked on. It's almost like a game that you play and you can win it. Okay? And I'm going to tell you this about the credit score. You can have an 800 credit score, 750 credit score. Those are good credit scores, am I correct? But you can still be in debt. You know why? Because all you're doing is paying all your debt on time. Right? All you're doing is paying it on time, so it's making that score look great. But now you can't buy a house because you don't have any money. So you mentioned something about someone making $30,000. Everything in life is relative. I have seen people make $800,000. That's a lot of money, am I correct? Is it a lot of money if you spend it $600? No. So you're only making $200, correct? Correct. So if you're making $50,000 a year and you can find a way to just spend 30, you should have 20 left. Am I correct? Correct. Aren't you in a better position than the person that's making $800,000 a year spending $600? Yes. Everything is relative. So what Tressie was telling you about the taxes, it's relative. Put away the $5, put away the $1. It's about creating the habit. Because when you get $5, you can do 5. When you get 10, then you can do 10. But now you got the habit. So you're going to do it when you get more. Those are my 3 tips, and I'm going to give you one more bonus. Everybody in here needs to go to Penny Hoarder. pennyhoarder.com. It will show you and give you so many tips about how to save money. I am using it right now. In my life right now, I am living like we are in a crisis, in a recession. Okay? I'm living like it's in a recession because I did this. And I hate to tell you that I spent $1,127 on eating out. Thank God I have $1,127 to spend, but I should not be spending it that way. So that's what woke me up completely. Oh, you have a question? Yes.
Yes, I do. First of all, I'm here for the first time, and I heard you guys on Hot Talk, but I did not want to get and make a phone call, so I heard your debt to ratio. Now, I'm a contractor.
Amen.
Oh, okay, yes.
Okay? And I invest in property, so I like to think that everything that you buy, even a car, is an investment. You take a $100,000 car, everybody buys it just ready, back it off the lot, it's worth $10,000 less.
Agreed.
That's what keeps the next thing going. So when you spend money now, like you was talking about those...
No, when I transfer money?
I'm sorry?
When I transfer money? That's already.
Investment, that's like if you buy a $50 pair of shoes and I'm listening to you, go and take them back to the store. Everything's made for a profit. So when you do that, and you're going to wear these shoes, everybody's into the right now, the style, the latest, the hottest. LeBron James and these people are multi-millionaires, billionaires. People are paying $1,500 to $2,500 for a pair of Kanye West tennis shoes, and he doesn't even play in the NBA. So now, why would you invest that kind of money and you're not going to make it? So anything you do as this company, I've been in it for 40 years, you buy low and you sell high. You buy rundown homes. Now, I need to get with you because you are a realtor. You buy homes, you sell them. If they don't fit the market criteria, then you rent them out until it does. Property values does not go down. Where I live, the taxes are much cheaper. Guess who's coming over there in the neighborhood?
Oh, we know. We know.
And they're buying and they live together, and the next thing you know, they're buying and owning the property. Now, I have nothing against that, but we as people need to understand the value of a dollar in the stock, just like you said.
Yeah, I totally, well said. Well, I clap that. Well said. What the debt to ratio I'm speaking of is when you're purchasing a home and how a lender looks at your financial background. There are different ways to buying a home. If you're going to finance, you can do FHA, you can do conventional financing. Those are all run by the big investor, Fannie Mae, Jeannie Mac, Freddie Mac. Those run the world. And people don't understand that and understand who they are. They are not Bank of America. They're behind that, and they're running everything. So when you go in and they look, okay, your credit score, oh, you can have a 620 credit score to move into the home. But your debt to ratio is what's important. You can't be over a 45% or 47% in your debt to ratio. To be honest with you, you should really be at 30%. So what does that mean? That means if you have a credit card at $1,000, you should not be spending more than $300 on that credit card.
Amen.
Period. You should not take that credit card to $900 or $800. It needs to be at 30%. I know there are times when you need to do that, but it shouldn't be something you do consistently all the time, every month, because it creates that pattern that's going to not help you get that home you want. Now, here's the thing. Your criteria could be up to that 47%, but guess what else is going to be high? Your interest rate. Now, a lot of people don't understand this. They think, oh, my credit has to be great. My credit has to be great. No, it's not always about your credit being great. Now, let me tell you this. If you buy a house at $300,000 and you buy a house at $330,000, what would be the difference in the mortgage? You think? How much money you think would be in the difference in a mortgage on a house at $300,000 and a house at $330,000? What's the number? I don't want my professionals to answer. Sabrina, what do you think the difference would be in every month?
15.
How much? So Sabrina says $1,000. So now what if you have an interest rate at 4% or an interest rate at 4.9%? What do you think the difference would be? I don't want any of my professionals to answer. Anybody know? So let me make this very clear to you. Sometimes people are fighting over a little bit of money. That $30,000 difference is amortized over 30 years. That's pennies on the dollars. It might be $8 in your mortgage every month, right? But your interest rate, that could be a $150 difference a month. It makes a big difference. So that debt to ratio needs to stay down so you can get the best interest rate out there. That credit score needs to stay over 700 so you can get the best interest rate out there. Our interest rates in America have not been this low in 55 years. Our average interest rate is 6% with everybody being able to buy a car, go somewhere, take your kids to private school. 6% is great. We are living in a dream right now, under 6%. So if you can find a way to buy, you buy now because it's under that 6% rate. And right now it's in the fours, even with not good credit. I have somebody right now with a credit score of 647, middle credit score. Their interest rate is 4.6%. That's very low compared to what it normally is. Those are my tips.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody. So my tips. Let me ask a question. My first thing is let me ask a question. My name is Wanda Brooks with Brookside Services. I'll smile. You take a picture. Okay. So my first question is, how many of us have life insurance? How many of us have life insurance that we own that's not with work? Okay, so you own your own policy. Okay, for those of us that do not, we need to understand that once you leave that job, the insurance stays with you. Stays with the company, I'm sorry. It stays with the company, okay? Now, what happens is that the older, now I have different types of clients. I've had clients tell me I'll worry about that when I retire. Now, insurance is based on sex, age, and health. So the older you are, the more it costs. Okay? So there's nothing like being able to own your own. Okay, and so I was looking up the statistics on how many women actually own life insurance themselves, and 56% of women own life insurance. That's 10% less than men. Now, if we look, and realistically, a lot of homes are ran by the mothers, correct? So what does that tell us? We need to bump that up, okay? So now, let's think. Like Tracy mentioned earlier, I don't have that much money for insurance because I don't, I got stuff to do. You understand? So what I'll do is we'll sit down and you tell me, because there are different types of insurance policies. So we're gonna sit down and cater what's good for you right now. Tomorrow it may be different. Next year it may be different. But we're talking about right now because we want you to be covered. That is the most, out of everything, that is the absolute most important thing, is that we are covered, especially as a community. We need to sit down, we have the holidays coming up. That needs to be a conversation. And listen, I am available to come to everybody's home for dinner, dessert, wine, for life insurance. I'll need 10 minutes. I ain't gonna take up y'all time. Just have my place at the table. And I gladly, because one of my sayings is allow me to be a part of your family. Because once I come into your home, it's about us right now, okay? So that's one, if you don't have insurance, let's get some. And we'll work with I'll work with
get in where you fit in.
Yeah, exactly, that's a good quote, get in where you fit in. Everybody don't fit in the same place, okay? But I will give you all your options and we'll figure that out. Consider your budget, and I spoke a little bit about that. We want to consider our budget, right? So again, since we're talking about holiday season, we want to consider that budget, and let's pay that premium for the year because it's a discount. And I'm not just talking about life insurance, car insurance, all of that. They give you pay it for the year, they give you a discount. And then what does that do? That frees up some of that money. So when you get that little bit of money that you do get from the taxes, you pay that annual premium. And guess when it's due again? The next following year. That's something we don't have to worry about. The birthday parties and all that other stuff, okay? And to save some time, I'm gonna be short. And the next one is with that money that you have, so now you wanna be able to save some money, just figure it all out. Open up what they used to have, and I heard that they still have it, a holiday account.
Yes.
They still have them.
At the credit union.
At the credit union, yeah, and I didn't know that. The ladies told me that when we were discussing it before. They still have those holiday accounts. So if you're spending $100 on an insurance, any insurance, if you're spending that on the insurance, then you can take, well, let me put 25 here. Let me put 50 there. By the end of the year, during the holidays, what happens? You got a little spend money.
Yeah.
And now you don't have to worry about, like Jill said, going spending all that money, and now we're starting all over. So real quick, do you have insurance? If not, let's look into it, okay? Consider your budget, and then let's work on a holiday account and open up and pay annually on your insurance, okay? Oh, I'm sorry, my information. Okay, you can find me on Facebook and IG, Brookstar Services, and my phone number, you can reach me at area code 305-816-6948, and that's Brooks Star Services, so that's 2 S's. 305-816-6948. And we want to thank y'all for coming. Y'all are so beautiful.
It's called the Christmas Club.
Oh, it's called the Christmas Club. Well, thank you.
Way back in the day.
Okay, thank you. Christmas Club. That's it.
You're right.
Okay.
They call it the Christmas
Every
Club.
October.
There you go. Okay. See, I just learned something. Thank you very much, sir.
I love that. All right, you guys, it is, Oh, I would, but it's 8 o'clock. Okay. Let me mean it. But no, I mean, seriously, I want to keep you all on time and know that you can, devote 2 hours to it, get something you need and, work on that. And I will tell you that the annual payment is the goal for 2021 for me, so don't feel bad.
2020.
No, mine is the goal for 2021. I mean, I would love to, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That ain't gonna happen. I'm not gonna tell that lie to myself. But 2021, I would love to be in a position to be like, yeah, I'm paying all that at one time. But right now, I'm gonna pay you on time every month. No payment arrangements. All right, so listen, thank you guys so much for coming. I hope you got something. You had a little snack. I hope you enjoyed, met some new people. And it is the Paycheck to Real Wealth will be the third Wednesday of every month. So we do Hot Talk Live on Sunday night, and the third Sunday of every month, and then we'll be live here on that Wednesday. So, you know, if you listen to the show and stuff you heard, you're like, wait a minute, I wanted to hear about this, or whatever. Because we can go up on a tangent on that show sometimes. We talk about one thing, and then we talk about Kim Kardashian and vampire facials. But this is an attempt to be very focused on, you know, what we highlighted on the show, you know, and help you move from paycheck to real wealth. So I want to thank Tressie and Angelique and Wanda, Michelle, my crew, Kirk and LaRue and Stefan, Natalie Robinson Bernard from the YWCA, and Dana Johnson, and most importantly, all of you for coming. Thank you so much. And I'll see you next month. Happy holidays! Happy New Year! Merry Christmas! Awesome! Okay, LaRue, can we have a little departing music? You're welcome. Thank you for coming. Okay.